Today we have Dr. Krishna Govender, who is a senior lecturer in organic and physical chemistry at the University of Johannesburg in the Department of Chemical Sciences. He's the head of the Computational Chemistry and Molecular Modeling Lab, and he is a computational chemist and material scientist, and his research focuses on computer-aided drug design in pursuit of more effective drugs for the treatment of cancer. And the computational methodologies and tools that he uses with this group include molecular mechanics, molecular docking, quantum mechanics, molecular dynamics, and Python, just to mention a few. And currently he serves as the chair of the South African Chemical Institute of Molecular Modeling Division, in the Molecular Modeling Division, and is also the chair of the CHPC Chemistry and Material Science Group. And he's an associate at NITheCS, and he is a Y2 rated researcher at NRF, and he supervises master's and PhD students and has over 40 publications. So I would say we are honored to have him presenting to us. So, Dr. Krishna, you will then today be talking to us about computational chemistry.
There we go. Okay.
Yes, perfect. I can hear you. Let's share your screen.
Yeah. It's share my whole desktop. Okay, so I'm going to share this whole desktop because I need to be shifting around. So I guess you can see my browser.
Yes, we can see this, the canvas.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Great.
Over to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Tutukile. And so good morning, guys. No, it's the last day. So I understand you are all probably very tired by now. And this morning is not going to be super easy. I am going to give you some work to do. So we're going to try and problem solve some of the things that we will look at in today's course, right? So what we're going to try and do is maybe download a few things off the internet, and I will most likely give you all certain tasks to perform to try and see if you can sort of solve the issues that we have. Right, so first things first, there is documents already uploaded on Canvas. There's a PDF and there's 2 text files. So if you can just download those in the meantime, please. But I will be walking you through the installation process now, for those of you that might not have downloaded the files yet. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start our Anaconda prompt, right? So you're going to go to your start menu and you're just going to get to Anaconda prompt. So we are not going to use the base like everybody's been doing so far, because often if we install packages, sometimes there might be conflicts and then it causes problems. So to prevent that from happening, we're going to make sure we install everything in our own Conda environment. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to install our Conda environment, right? So on the prompt, you can just type Conda create -n, and we're going to call this environment pumpkin. What we also want to do is we want to install a specific version of Python here, because this morning somebody pointed out to me that something wasn't working. So to solve this problem, we're going to tell it we want to use Python 3.7. Right, so what's going to happen is going to create the environment and it's going to install that specific version of Python for us. So let me make a bigger screen and let me just zoom in here. I trust you guys can see. Right, those online, just maybe let me know in the chat if you can see properly, or should I now make it bigger? See somebody typing. Right, I see a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's basically what you need to type on the command prompt, right? So we hit enter, and then you'll see some fun stuff happening in the background. So it's going to just quickly go look on the Python repos, and it's going to try and find us what we're looking for. This specifically is just going to be Python 3.7, and it's going to create this environment called PubChem. All right, so now it's a solving environment, just a bunch of extra stuff. We're not going to update Conda yet. We're just going to use what we have now. Right, and then it will just type Y. Oh, yes. And hit enter and let the packages install. Okay, those of you that are using Mac, I believe, if you have Anaconda, you should have be able to just open a command prompt on a Mac and be able to type out conda create, and then it should work. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about the different machines. I was only thinking Linux and Windows. I'm not a Mac user, so sorry. But I see Benjamin, you assisting, so thank you. In the meantime, I'm just going to wait for this to quickly finish. Right, so it's now done. Right, but now what you'll notice is at the bottom here, you still have base, right? You're not in the right environment yet. So base was where you were working all along for last week's Python stuff. Everything you coded on the base because that had all the basic stuff that you needed. Now, because we want to use something different and we want to install our own packages, we need to move to our new environment. So to move to a new environment, you do a conda activate and then the name of your environment. So here on the top, it tells you to activate this environment, use conda activate PubChem. That's exactly what we're going to do. We just type conda activate PubChem. And that's going to shift us to PubChem. See, so now at the bottom, you're now no longer in base, you're now in PubChem. But one thing you need to remember is this is the bare minimum, right? So this doesn't have anything inside. PubChem is now completely blank. All it's got so far is Python 3.7. So anything else that we need inside here, we need to install manually, right? So that it has all the libraries that we want to use. So things like your pandas and stuff will not work because it hasn't been installed. So in the documentation, again, you'll see there's a couple of things we need to install. So we're going to type conda install. One thing is Spider, because Spider's not there by default. So we have to install it. Right? We have to install the Spider kernel. And in this case, we're going to say 2.4. Point start. And to prevent me from having to see that screen and hit Y again, I'm going to add a -1. So this will automatically just download the application and install it without you having to press Y the whole time. No. So I see a question. Do you need to create PubChem every time you use Python? No. The environments only need to be created once. So once it's created and you have everything installed, the next time you decide to use PubChem, you just have to go conda activate PubChem and you'll be in. Right? So as long as you're using your same machine, it stays in one place. If you want to update stuff, you can just activate that thing in the command prompt and install whatever you want to install. So an environment only needs to be created once. And once you set up, you're good to go. You can just use it any other time. You just have to make sure you activate it each time. Right? So that's the one we're going to use now. We're going to enter Spider. And then this is going to go look for the stuff and just download and install everything for us. Right? There's 1, 2, 3, there's like 4 packages. So if your internet's a bit faster, you can check the PDF document there that I have. And you can install the other packages in the meantime as well. Right, so we're busy finishing this. Oh, also, wait 1 month. I just want to quickly check something. No, it's not yet. Okay, fine. Usually when you initially install your environment, it tells you the location where the environment is being installed. We're going to need that information later, but I'll show you guys on Windows anyways, how you find your environment. How do we check for the latest version of software to install? In this particular case, you don't need to install the latest. That's why I had to specify Python 3.7, because the latest is 3.11 and I see there's conflicts. This morning, there were issues that I was having. So you don't always install the latest of everything, depending on what people have done. Are you not getting my stuff? Not at all. So if you are having issues installing anything in terms of the environment, first maybe update conda. So do a conda update conda. Right? Update and a conda, basically the conda libraries. Maybe that will help. Yeah. Do it in PubChem, it's fine. Okay, so I see some errors. Did you make sure you put the Python equals 3.7 when you created your environment? Okay, so there's some people that have issues here. Let me quickly check. Have issues. I see a lot of you have issues. After I run this, I got this message. No matches found. Oh. Yo, everybody's got different problem. Okay, this is great. This is why we try to solve problems, right? So what do we do? Okay, so the latest screenshot that was sent, you just have to type conda activate PubChem. Okay, so those of you that are getting like the great thing is, I'm not getting it. So I don't know why, but anyway, I'm going to quickly go out, right? So I'm going to deactivate my conda. I'm going to go back to PubChem. I'm going to go out of PubChem and go back to my base. So for those of you that are getting these funny red screens, there's like red appearing on your stuff. Just go back to base and do a conda update conda. And then go back to PubChem and then create your PubChem again. So let's quickly do that. Right, so I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to come out. I'm going to remove my environment. I'm also going to update my conda. Let's see what happens. Hopefully, I don't get the same errors. Right, so in the conda prompt, we're going to first remove our PubChem environment, which we originally created. So I'm going to do a conda remove PubChem. Right? So we're going to take that environment out, especially those of you that have errors. We first take out the environment, we're going to update Anaconda, and then we're going to reinstall and see if that helps. Right, so do that. Conda remove -n PubChem -- all. It's going to take everything out. If you have questions, put it on the chat so other people can also see. Because if you got an issue, maybe other people online also have the same thing. So we can quickly have a look. Right, so remember we deactivated our environment. We now got to remove this PubChem. Right, and then we hit Y. Let it take everything out. And then I'm just going to update my conda quick. So deactivate first, then do the remove. There's lots of typing. Trying to solve it slowly but surely. Right, so now it's removed. If I try and check if that environment's still there, it shouldn't be. You can just type conda environment list. And what I should find is only base. There's no other environment, right? So now let's quickly update conda. So we do a conda update conda. And put a -y, just so that it does it automatically. We don't have to now keep tapping y though. How can I do this if I do not have an anaconda? Okay, preferably we wanted you to have an anaconda for this. If you're using Google Colab, I'm not sure if Google Colab actually has an option to install environments, but a lot of these packages can be done through pub. So if you can do it on Colab via pub install, that might work. In this particular case, you have to have an Anaconda for the stuff, right? So if you don't have it, it's fine. We'll be uploading my code and stuff after the whole process, so you can see how everything works. But for now, we just want to try and see that we can get this to work for most people that have an Anaconda already. I couldn't go back to base. You need to say conda deactivate in order for you to go back to base. Right, once you've deactivated and you've done the update, now I've done my update. Mine is finished. Now I'm going to try and create this thing again. Oh, why did my son? No, you didn't. You're in this, so it's right. So create again. So do a conda. If you didn't remove, this is the command. Conda remove environment. Conda remove dash 8. Then it's pub game dash dash all. So if you haven't removed the pub game, this is how you can do it. And then you can put a dash y there at the end of it. Got it? Right. So great. The Mac users, you need to. Oh, thank you, Benjamin. I'm not on the Mac. So right. So we're gonna do it again. Right? Conda create -n pub game. Then Python equals 0.7. I'm gonna put a -y this time because again, I don't want to keep typing y every time. Right? In case where you get this, proceed, just hit y, guys. So you continue. Yes, and as Benjamin says, this is part of learning. I didn't anticipate this was going to happen. Now it's happening. We just solved the problem, right? This is one way to try and figure it out. My whole thing was to just show you all the code, but guess what? We now have other issues we need to solve. It happens. Yesterday when I tried this on, everything worked fine. So, right, so let's do a conda create pubchem again this time. Now let's see what happens. Hopefully this is going to install and it's going to give you a one. Please have this. Okay, Vincent, that is fine. If it's installing, you wait for it to finish and go back to the normal screen again. In your case, Blessing Maramba, that is a issue with the internet. Right, so now it's created, right? So we're going to activate this thing with conda activate pubchem. Right, now I'm going to pubchem again. All of you should see this. There should be no base at the bottom. It should say pubchem once you've activated. This is what I have after following all the instructions from the PDA. What do you have? But Blessing, I see you are still on base. You're supposed to have been installing all of that stuff under pubchem. So you're supposed to create that pubchem thing. You haven't created that. So first do a conda create -n pubchem Python equals 3.7 -y. You do that first. Then you go to conda activate pubchem and then do the installations. Don't follow those other instructions until you're actually in the correct environment. Okay, what are we getting? I hear lots of talking. Is it good talk, bad talk? What's happening? Okay, guys, so hopefully everybody's now following me and we are on pubchem. So let's try and install this package again, the spider stuff. Now we're going to do a conda install spider kernel equals 2.4 points down, minus 1. Right? Make sure you put the star. So it'll just look for the latest version of 2.4. Oh, am I too fast? Sorry. Okay, so for those of you that didn't catch it, let me quickly go back. Sorry, other people, we will now quickly. I want everybody to try and be on the same page, right? So I want to quickly go back to my piece. Right, so remember what I did first was I did a Conda update. Conda, right? After I did the update, I then created PubChem and I made sure the Python version is 3.7. Right? And then I activate PubChem after it does the installation. Okay, and Rahul, make sure you don't put spaces. I see spaces everywhere. That's probably why you're getting package errors. There should be no spaces between the double equal signs. Right, so I'm going to activate my PubChem again. And now I'm going to do the Conda. Let me type this in. So it's Conda install spider kernel. And this is in that PDF that I gave to you guys. So you can find this command there. It is there. But please make sure on your screen it says PubChem on the left-hand side. If you're not there and it's still saying base, you're not in the right place. You must activate PubChem before we do this installation. Otherwise, the version of Spider that's in base is going to conflict and you're going to get an error. So you have to be in the right place. I think I missed something. Conda, no, try it. Conda create. Oh, your error. I don't know. Oh, okay. Somebody is responding to you. So fine. All right. Let's try this again. And hopefully this time. Any red marks? Still. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to check on mine. I want to see if mine is going to be. Because it could possibly be that then you'll need to now update your anaconda. Because all we did was update Conda. We need to maybe update your anaconda version or something else. Okay, I will deal with you all when I get to a task, right? So those of you that are here and those of you online also, if there's red screens popping up, we'll try and see what I can do to solve that problem. For now, I just want to create these environments so that we can at least get going. And then when I give you all tasks to do, I can help you out again. Right. Can someone please type out the commands in order to take it short for me? Okay, cool. Right. So now, there we go. My spider thingy work. I have no issue. I don't know why you all have issues. We'll try and solve those. Right. Right. So the next package I need to also install is I have to use a specific channel here. NCS07 hub game py -1. Right. So in the next case, we have to do a conda install of pubchem py, right? This is the Python version of pubchem basically. It's a Python library that we need to have installed. This doesn't install by default on Conda's default channels. So you have to specify the channel. So in this case, the -c just says go to channel NCS07 and find me pubchem py and install it. Right? So that's basically what I'm doing. Remember, if you get to the part where the thing just starts to revolve, like keeps going round and round, it means you just need to wait because the installation is still happening. So don't cancel, don't do anything, just wait for it. Unsatisfiable error. The following specifications were found to be incompatible with existing Python installation. Did you make sure you put Python equals 3.7? Because I know that error would only pop up if you did the conda create and you didn't put Python 3.7. Who is this? Letitia, that error is an internet issue. You might need to just try and rerun it. Right, so my pub came installed. I'm going to just get the installation part. And then for those of you that's in the room here, I'm quickly going to look at your errors and try and see if we can find something to solve it so that we can also let the people online know. So don't worry, guys, we got time. It's not like there's no time. Right, so remember, this is issues we're going to have, right? So yes, let's say tomorrow you now get something like, okay, I found the script somewhere online. I need to get PubChem working. In order to get PubChem working, these are the steps you need to follow. So that script will never run unless you actually solve these issues first. Right, so the last thing we need to do is just install, well, last two things. We need to also install Panda, because we're going to make use of Pandas. Right, so we do a conda install of Pandas. Is everybody in here having issues with the install? Or are there some that's actually working? Problem. Anyone with no problems? Nobody. Yo, okay, fine. I'm coming to you. We will deal with all the issues first. Okay, I see somebody, mine is working. Great. Guys, anyone online that so far has at least some people been getting things installed? I see some thumbs up. All right, great. Oh, remember, who's this? Anele, you have spider is 2.4. There should be a dot star afterwards. I think you didn't put the dot star. Okay. I think great. You look like you're working so far. Different blessing. The same one. Yes.
This school is lost by the reading the next one.
3.7.
But it means it.
And it's fine. It's fine. It's installed. Fine. Let me quickly check here. Okay, so my spider looks like it installed fine. Let's see. Where did I install spider now? Okay, yeah. So 2.4. Yeah, so the spider here went fine. No issues. My spider kernel. It was 2.4.3. Maybe you want to put the 0.3. What version is yours on day? So when you do the spider, make it 2.4.3. Try with a dot 3. Let's see what happens. Try people online. I'm now trying to see if I can solve issues here and let you all know what we did here so that you can also do the same. Yeah, and there's a reason why in my documentation I did everything separate. Because if I put all of those things in one, we won't know where the error is coming from. So when you have issues, always try to do the installation step by step so that you can find out where the problem is coming from. So in your case, we know it's a spider issue. So let us see. No, but the thing is, I'll be explained by one installer. You see, so this is the thing. I think there's a problem with your inner content. So for those that might be having issues with that red screen, my suggestion would be please go download Anaconda again. the latest version that's out now, right? The whole Anaconda package, reinstall it, and then do these steps, right? So uninstall your current Anaconda, download the newer one, reinstall it, because I've got the latest of Anaconda on my machine. That could be the problem that's now being caused. So just uninstall your Anaconda, download the new one, reinstall it, and then go to the Conda prompt and do these steps, right? And then don't worry, as I say, I will be sharing all of the scripts with you guys. So you all can catch up as we go. So first do that for me, please. And then let's see if that helps. So those of you online as well. Let's do the Anaconda thing first and see if that doesn't solve the problem, then we'll try and find other ways to solve it. Okay, so those of you that have been able to get this to work so far, let's quickly now do the last Conda install. And in this case, it's NITheKit. And again, I need to go to an NITheKit channel in order to get this and install it. Okay, so how about I give you so Letitia, since you want me to wait a bit, if you're trying to install the Anaconda stuff, I'll come back to certain things afterwards. Yeah, Vincent, you're getting the same issue as other people here. So as I suggested, you probably wait, this is Python 3. No, but now your problem here, Vincent, is you did not do the install with Python equals 3.7. So you were using Python 3.11. And that's why you're getting an issue when you're trying to install NITheKit. If you did the Conda create -n pubchem and you didn't include Python equals 3.7 afterwards, you're going to get an issue when it comes to installing NITheKit. So those of you that I help, please help out others. Then we will see. And those of you that are downloading the Anaconda, I will get to you. Don't worry. Right, so please make sure that the first creation of your environment, you did it with Conda create -n pubchem Python equals 3.7. Because if you don't do that, it defaults to 3.11. You're also getting red screen. So maybe download the Anaconda and reinstall. That's the first option. Because we tried the Conda update, that didn't work. So let's see. Let's hope this will help. How to uninstall Anaconda in Windows? Pretty simple. You can go to Control Panel. I'll even show you here. Just go to your uninstall program and look for Anaconda. There. Look. And then you can uninstall. Let's see, my Python base here 3.10, but we don't care about that one because we install our own version of Python when we're doing this stuff. Right, so this was, what was it? I get the following header when I did the install with Python 3.7. Oh, your Spider's complaining about the Python. So I've got somebody else that Spider's also complaining about the Python. But as I see, my one is fine. So maybe if you are in a conducting the work, we would roll to a different version of Python. We just can't use 3.11 because that doesn't work with one of the packages we want to install. So if you all have issues with the 3.7, you can always try 3.8 or actually 3.10 as it specifies here for the Spider kernels. So maybe when you do your creation, you say Python equals 3.8 instead of 3.7. Right, it's great, lots of issues. Oh, yes, Benjamin, because when we ran it in Spider, I had an issue because the Spider kernels weren't there. But people can try it without it and we can see what happens. Oh, yes, true. If they run in the terminal, then it'll be fine. But when we do the actual Python script, I'm going to do it in Spider. We can always just make them go back to the terminal and run the script afterwards. That can work. lab computer that I have been using for the whole summer school, this error seems to have popped up after the conda update. What error? Oh, is that the spider error? Okay. Okay, yeah, the spider error. Look, let's try and see. We'll maybe try and get around that spider issue. If it was only on spider that you're all getting problems, then perhaps do the steps after the spider. Do everything else, right? And then let's see if we can maybe get you all to run it on the command prompt instead. So we'll write scripts in spider. We just won't run it through spider. We'll run it on the command prompt. And then see what it does. Right, so anyone having issues with that spider install, do the steps afterwards. Just install the other packages. And then the Python scripts that we do in spider, we just can't run it inside spider. We'll run it outside spider somehow. So the same with you. You did had an issue with the lab computer one. It's fine. Let's try and get these scripts written and then we'll try and run them on the terminal. Right, so in my case, that was the last one. I did the RTKit, it worked. Right, so all of our packages are now installed. Right? Now I'm going to just minimize this because we're going to use the terminal again. Oh, crap. I can't do it sheets. I have to do it in another terminal. That's fine. Oh, okay, great. Thank you, Christopher. Somebody's tried. So use Python 3.10. It gets rid of the spider install error. So guys, those of you that are having issues, when you did the conda create, so this command, this one, make this a 10. So all of you that had an issue with spider, just do a conda create content Python 3.0 instead of 3.7. Because I see somebody else had the same problem and that's what solved it for them. So go to the command prompt, do the creation with 3.10 instead. Right? And then do the rest of the steps. Maybe deactivate, remove the old environment and then do a fresh one. And the nice thing is the command you type so far, just use the up arrow, up arrow, up arrow, up arrow. It's all still. So you can just go back. Right? Getting error when running the last command. What did you say? No, you type the two in the same line. You need to do them separately. So you have to do a conda install pandas -y. And then the next one is a separate command. The conda install -crtkit. Run that separately after the pandas is finished. Please assist with the deactivate. Oh, you just say conda deactivate. That's it. So if you do this, that'll take you back to your base. Right, so while others are catching up, we're quickly going to start something, right? So I'm going to go to spider now. SPY. Right, guys, so I'm going to go to spider. Now, for those of us that now, okay, hopefully the spider issue will be resolved if you're doing with Python 3.10. That will be great. So if that issue is resolved, I'm going to quickly show you what we need to do as the next step now to have spider use the same Python that we just installed. Because you see, by default, spider is going to make use of the base. That's not where we installed all of these packages. We install all these packages in a separate environment. So we need spider to actually look in the same place. So let spider do its thing. Let it start up. Oh, the last one that has this issue, this is probably an internet thing. You might need to just rerun the command or something. Yeah, because this is the internet sort of issue or when you have this problem. Right. So I'm in spider. Okay. So let me close this. Wait, how can I move this? I need to move this out the way. I can't see. There. Okay, so put this one side. Right, guys. So you should see the full screen if you're looking on this online. So we go to tools in Spider, right? Because what's going to happen is if I write anything here, let's quickly try. So because we've now installed PubChem, we've done all of this stuff. We expect that if we import PubChem, it should work, right? So let's quickly try doing an import statement. I'm going to just import PubChem py as PCP. Right, and then we hit play. Look, my console has issues. Console is giving me problems. What is going on? Okay, anyway, fine. If I hit play, I was supposed to get an error. I can't see my error right now, but we're going to sort that out just hopefully. Right, but basically this PubChem py doesn't exist because if I hover over here, right now it says imported not true. I think mine is already in the right location. Yours is not. Yours you should get an error. Right? If you run yours, because it's using the base, it's not going to work. So we need to go change it from base to something else. So you go to tools, preferences. Right, and then here on the Python interpreter, yeah, my one is already in my head. So yours will default, right? You'll be on here, which is default. The default is the base, as I said. We don't need the default. We need to use our new location. So we have to specify. So you click on use the following Python interpreter, and then you click on that small box there that'll bring up this. You should see that you're in a folder like this, right? Where there should be a folder called envs for environments. So if you go there, can we see the environments? Yeah, no module name PubChem py. That's right. So those of you that are getting that error, it's because you're in the wrong folder. You need to use the right version of Python. Right, so we have to go here, which is environments. If you're not seeing that and you're seeing something else, then let's go all the way back to how we're supposed to see this folder. So I'm going to quickly close this. And I'm going to close this. I'm going to close my preferences. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Windows folder. Because that location for where your environments are sitting in Windows, it's hidden. You're not going to see it, right? By default. So in the Mac, I'm not sure where your environments get created. It's supposed to tell you something. Okay, but anyway, if you go to view, show, then you just click on hidden items so that it shows you the hidden files. Right, so view hidden items. Right, the screen will flash, that's fine. Now the hidden items, we can see them now. That's what we want to do. Let's quickly minimize this. Right, so now I'm going to go to tools, preferences, and I'm going to go find it. So typically that folder will be located on your C drive under users, your username, whatever it may be. And then you look for a folder called app data, but you'll see it's lighter in color because it was hidden. Now, because we decided to show it, we can see the hidden folders. Right, so under app data is where you'll see local. Right, I'll go through this again. Go through it and get it. Local, Anaconda 3, ELBs, and then PubChem. Right? So again, I'm going to go to C drive. Then I'm going to look for user. Go into the users folder. Go into your username. Then go look for app data. Then local. Anaconda 3. ENVs for environment. And then PubChem. And in there, there's the Python you want to use. So you just double click on python.exe. Right? And then you say, okay. Why am I getting so many issues here? Also use this command in the Anaconda terminal. Yes. So if you want to know where that location is, you do a conda info dash env. And it will show you the C drive users, username, app data, local, Anaconda environments, applications. Right, I've got an issue with my kernel clearly. So I'm going to quickly go back to my thing and then change the circle. I'm going to do it with 3.10 as well. It seems like my spider's giving me problems now also. Right, so those of you that had issues, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do it with Python 3.10 and hopefully that's going to resolve my problem. 310 won't work with RTKit. It's fine. If we don't get to the RTKit part today, it's all right. We will just try and do the PubChem piece. All right, Panda removes. Right, so I'm quickly going to just remove my environment. I'm going to just install the stuff again because it seems like my kernel's giving me issues. I don't remember what version of Python I actually used when I got this to work the other day. Oh, yours is under program data. That's because it didn't go to the default location. If you install Anaconda by default, it usually writes it out into local data. So if you specify different places, sometimes it puts it somewhere else. So you just need to know where your Anaconda is. And your environments get created in the same place. But typing conda info dash envs will show you where it is. 311 is a problem. Right, that I know. 311 doesn't work with RTKit as well. And it seems that what spider needs? 310. The spider error that you had, was it 310? Yeah, so that spider kernel seems to need 3.10 and above. So let's see. What is the conda remove again? I just typed it now. Wait, there, that one. So when you go back to base, you just do a conda remove minus n pubchem dash all. All right, I'm going to do this fresh. Let's see what happens. True, I could have just created a new environment. Whatever. I've already removed it. You can just create a new environment and then work through it, as opposed to removing an old environment. Oh, oops. I want to see what my one does actually. Which Python it makes use of. Because when I did this the last time, it worked just fine. So 1 minute. So this way we can see what Python is actually made use of. Here's the version of my Python. I was able to make all the instructions. Cannot run on Spider the command. That's fine. What are you? 3.11.5. Okay. All right. Let me see something. New version of Conda exists. Current version of that. Latest version of this. Okay, let's try and do this. Do a Conda update. Actually, wait. I don't want to update my code. I want to see something. I'm just going to create this thing. I want to check what Python version this thing is in. I don't know if I need 2.4. Actually, let me just try by the kernels. I want to see some whether this is going to work. Sorry, and these issues were not an issue when I did this the first time. So clearly, it's a problem now. Yeah, okay. So even if we don't get the RT kit, I'm not too concerned about RT kit. Let's just see if the other things can install so long. So I'm not going to specify a version for Spider. I'm just installing the Spider kernels that get installed. Right, so you'll notice I just did a Conda install of Spider kernels and it installed 2.5 in this case. All right, so that one worked. Let's try the next one. Seven. Okay, so now I'm going to just quickly install pubchem py and then pandas. And I'll try RTKit. If it doesn't work, then it's fine. We will move on and at least do the first part. And what I will do is if these installs work, I'll update that document so that you guys can then try it out again. Okay, so pubchem installed fine now. Let me try on the install pandas. Oh, I'm gonna make note of this. Okay. Tell us. Give me a PHP. Just a piece of paper, yeah. Okay, so pandas has worked. Now let's try the last one. They get yeah, in discrepancy. But I will need to change. So it's just panda is the by the kernel. Okay, So everything seems to be fine on my side. So for the spider kernels, I'm just not using the specified version now, just trying spider kernels without anything, right? So it seems like if I don't put in the version, that seems to have worked. Maybe you guys can try the same. Do a conda install of just spider kernels without anything. Let it install whatever it wants to. And then the pubchem pandas in the RT kit. So far, nothing's breaking, which looks good. But okay. Oh, what does RT kit do? So RT kit is typically used for converting molecules. So what we're going to do with RT kit, or I'll show you, even if you don't get it installed, you can always struggle with that later, is that it can take a molecule that you download from PubChem and convert it into a 2D structure, as well as convert it to a 3-dimensional structure, which you can then use for things like drug design. Right, so mine is that. Let me minimize the screen and take it back to Spider. Let's see if things are now complaining still or what is it. Right, so go back to Spider. Now, because I didn't change my environment, the location where my Python is sitting is still the same place. It didn't change, right? In your case, you will go to Tools, Preferences, just change the environment if it's not correct. Yes, this is one. So you see. Can install. Oh, it's just 2.4 without the stuff. Oh, man. Activating your environment and then running this. Okay, so fine. So here, remember my one is already pointing to the right place. Okay, so if my Python interpreter is already pubchem python.exe, so that's correct. So I'm going to quickly close this and just run what they told me to run. So I'll go back to the thing. I'm going to do a conda install of spider kernels. What was it? 2.4. No, I didn't include the version of Python this time. No, I just did it. I just created the environment. So I just did a conda create for pubchem. Yes. If I can find it. There. So I just did a conda create minus n pubchem. I didn't specify any Python version or anything. So that seems to be okay so far. Minus n pubchem, right? So sorry, I'm just making note so that I know what to change later on. Right, and the spider kernels, it seems like I have to specify 2.4 at least. So I'm going to try and do that and see if that resolves my issue. Would you mind making your screen black back? It is. Oh, for the spider part. Oh, okay. All right, I will do that. I will change my spider background. Okay, let me change it now while I'm waiting. So you want it dark, not light. Right, so let me quickly open Spider again. And then I'll also quickly change my background. Look, it's hard things. It's fine. I will walk you through a lot of this stuff. Right, so you can see, trying to solve an issue is not easy, right? Damn, my console is working. Ooh. Right, so trying to problem solve, you have to now look at all of the issues. You saw, I was just trying to get this thing here to work at this point, where it was giving me the error, where it wasn't showing me what's happening. Now my console is working again. And all I did was I followed what they told me to. They said do a conda install of Spider 2.4. So I went back to the conda prompt and I did that. I did exactly what they asked me to do. And then that seemed to solve the problem. Let me quickly change my background. Okay, so Spider. Yeah. Right, it's going to restart my Spider. Most projectors can't. Oh, okay. So Benjamin, should I leave it black or what? Should I change it back to white? White is better. Fine. White is better. Okay. Okay, I'm leaving it with white background. So sorry guys, we will have to just work with the white. Right, so all in all, the main thing is we just created the pubchem. We didn't specify any Python. That's what it came down to, right? I had to install spiders with just 2.4, not the dot star at the end, and then the rest of the commands were the same. And that seemed to have worked. Right, so now I am happy with what I see. Remember, just quickly again, I had to make sure I'm in the right folder when I'm running my Python. So that it runs the Python that's in pubchem, right? The folder pubchem. So you need to make sure you're in the right place and that you're running the right Python when you press play. Because if you press play, it usually goes to base and then it's not going to work. Right, so let's quickly now close this. Right, so if I run this command, right, what happens? Nothing. This is good. It means that the library is being imported. Right, so now knows I want to use pubchem and it's doing it for me. Right, so let's quickly now see what we do next. All right, those of you that are having errors during the break, let's see. We can maybe also try and walk through those errors and try and figure everything out so that it works. But for now, I just want to start so that you guys can see what we're capable of doing, right? So let me zoom in here and let me zoom in a little bit here. Right. Now that we've done all of this, what do we want to do? First thing I want to do is I want to quickly rename my file. I want to call this something else, right? Because I want to save this file and I want to name it something. But I want to put this somewhere. Maybe I want to put this in my documents. I'm going to make a new folder. I'm just going to call this compchem. And inside there, I'm going to save this file, which I'm going to call download molecules. Right, download molecules.py. And I'm just putting it in my folder. Save. Great. Now let us see. What can we do? Now this pubchem thing, there's a link that I shared with you guys on Slack, right? So that link is basically the link to the pubchem py documentation. So I'm going to just Google it here. Oops. Let me just click it. Right, so it's pubchem py. Right, if you just Google pubchem py, this is the documentation. And in here, you'll see there's a bunch of different commands that one can issue to this pubchem tool to do various things, right? What we first going to do is we just want to do something simple. So let's quickly go back here. And I'm going to try and just get information of a molecule. That's all. I'm just going to try and pull the information to my machine and see what it looks like. Right, so to access things that are inside pubchem, I have abbreviated everything as PCP. Right, so we're going to call this PCP. And I'm going to say get compound, which is one of the functions that's sitting inside this pubchem tool. Right, and something simple. Let's look at methanol. So what this line is basically it's saying, okay, go to the pubchem and get me the compound methanol. And what I'm specifying here is the name of the compound, right? If I had, say, the smiles, I would say, put the line of smiles, and then afterwards I'd say smiles. so that it knows, look, this is what you're looking for. I'm going to go pull this information for you. Right, and then we're going to print. I'm going to call this result, right? So I'm going to make a variable called result, which is going to pull the information and then just print it to the screen. So let's see what happens. Dude, it doesn't have get, oh, it's get compounds. Sorry, go this. Right? So there, it prints out the result, where it shows me that this is compound 887. So the 887 is known as the compound ID. So on PubChem, it works with names, compound IDs, smiles, whatever. So the only thing it got me now is the compound and its ID on PubChem. That's how it's been identified by its ID base. Right, but we can also print out other things, not just that. We can print out other information for this molecule if we want it, right? So I want to access this molecule, which has been stored. If you look, it's in an array at the moment, and there is only one element. If there were two, it would be comma separated, right? Because whenever anything appears in these brackets here, it means it's in an array. So currently, there's only one molecule, so that's molecule 0. And for molecule 0, I want extra information. Maybe I want the molecular formula. So I say dot molecular formula. Right, so now it prints me the molecular formula. CH4O. Those of you that don't know, methanology is a CH3 group with the OH in the next, right? So 4 hydrogens, 1 carbon, 1 oxygen. So the formula looks correct. Maybe we want to look at something else. Perhaps we wish to look at. So we go result. Now, instead of the formula, oh yeah, it's get compounds. It with the S. Right, now we look at the molecular weight. Right? If you don't believe that PubChem is correct, go check a periodic table and work it out. You'll find that is the right answer, right? Because you're looking at what? 1.00794 for hydrogen, 15.999 oxygen, and I can't remember carbon. Right, so there we go. Now there's many other things. You could even print out the smiles. So let's just print out the smiles as an extra. So print out result not dot smile, isomeric smiles. Right? And you notice the smile just says CO. Isn't that odd? I mean, methanol's got hydrogens, right? It's got 4 hydrogens. How come the smile just shows you CO? That's like carbon monoxide. Basically, how smiles works is it's a reduced form of the molecule. They typically don't include hydrogens. It's just to make it simpler to search these databases for these compounds. So if you specify the smile CO, then PubChem automatically knows you are looking for methanol. So the hydrogens are explicit. They're just not there, but it will pull the right information for us. Right, but now this is only printing me one molecule, right? So what happens if I want to print out more than one molecule? So say I have 2 compounds that I want to look for. How then would I print it? Oops. Okay, I'm going to assist you here. Say I have this, right? So what I'm doing here is I'm taking this thing called result, and I'm just going to add on extra elements to it. First, I'm going to define an empty array. So result initially is going to take on this molecule. Then I'm going to add on a second molecule with get compounds. I'm going to call this ethanol. And again, this is the name. Right, so we hit run now. The problem is the print statement still only printed me out the first one, right? Because that's what that is. Now this is unlike pandas, this is an array, right? So you can't just print out the full data frame, because this is not the same as a data frame. This is an array. So all we've done is we've taken this and we've added elements to it. So let's quickly take this out, right? And I'm just going to print results for you, just to show you what that is. The plus equal sign essentially is the same as saying result is equal to result plus something. So this is just an easier form of appending to an array. So if you have an array in Python, usually you'd say array is equal to array name plus something. Over the years, it's evolved. You could just say plus equals. It implies the same thing. It takes the original one and just adds an extra element to it. Right, so here you'll notice, there's my new array. I've now printed compound that and compound that. Can you see it's two different compounds? So we now want to get the information for both of them, not just for one, right? We want to see what is the molecular formula and things for both compound 887 and for compound 702. So to do this, typically you would use a for loop, because you have to iterate through the stuff, right? So what we need to do is we need to iterate through result. I'm just going to call this something. I'm going to just call it comp. So what's going to happen here is, if I say for comp result, it's going to iterate through result one at a time. So comp is going to take on 0 and then it's going to take on 1, right? So it's going to be that element, then it's going to be that element. So we can do the same print statement. But now we're not printing out result anymore. We're printing out compound, right? So for that compound, I would like to get the molecular formula. Right, so if I do this in the loop, let's quickly check what happens. Okay, so sometimes it takes a while because it is good to have Kim and do its thing. Oh, let me zoom in here. So you will notice there's now CH4O and C2H6O. Right? Methanol, ethanol. So now it's printing me out information for both molecules, not just for one. And it's doing it step by step. It goes to the first one, prints that, the second one, prints down. So that's basically how this loop is now working. Right. It's only 2:15, right? So 11 o'clock is the break. So for all of you that are at this point that I'm at now, I would like you to do the same for butanol, propanol, hexanol, and heptanol. So I'll write it in Slack also, right? So print me the, so let's go with molecular formula, right? Molecular formula for butanol, and heptanol. Using the same principle here, see if you can get me the others. But try and make the script a bit easier, right? Because if you're doing something more than once, you can use a loop. So in this case, remember, I'm not saying result plus equals ethanol. Obviously, yeah, the one approach would be result plus equals butanol, propanol. But the thing is, you're doing the same process over and over. In order to avoid doing repetitive stuff, use a loop so that it can loop through different things and then give you the same solution at the end. Right? So do it the hard way, and then try and do it the easy way afterwards. So I'll give you all a few minutes, and then before break, I'll quickly show you both ways. Oh, did you use puppet store? Okay, great. Thank you. Penyu, at least. Other people, if you're having issues, maybe I'm gonna do a pub install then instead. I still get module not found error. That's because you are not in the right location. So while other people are busy there, let me quickly show you. Especially if you're using a Windows machine, you need to go to Tools, Preferences, and click on this. First, click on Use the following Python interpreter. Then click on that menu there, and then you need to find the location where your environment is. It should usually be in C, users, your username, app data, local anaconda 3, then envs, and then you should see a pubchem because you created that environment. Right, and then python.exe. And then you can click OK, and that should then allow you to import the module. Oh, yeah, if you want the molecules, I put it in spider. I mean, it's slash, right? So for those of you that didn't get it, it's butanol, propanol, hexanol, and heptanol. So if you change your Python interpreter, you must, unless PubChem didn't install. That is the only other thing I did go. And I'll give you all a hint. Here's a hint. Right? I'll be nice. I'll give you a hint. There's your hint. So I'm creating a new array or new list basically with the name method. Now remember, I want all those other molecules also. I can just add them to this list. So that this part here will automatically happen every time. Right, I'm going to give you like another 2 minutes or so. And I'll show you the hard way and show you actually, I'll show you the easy way. One second. Before we go for break. Actually, I'll give you 5 minutes so I can help people here quickly sort out issues. Go Okay, guys, so apologies, we now when I try Python version, it says 3.716. Did your thing install though? Sepo, did it work? Okay, somebody's got it. Thank you. You managed to get 1, 2, 3. You got 4. Nah, for 5 molecules. Or on an Anaconda prompt, I think Benjamin responded to you earlier. So. All right, guys. So I'm gonna quickly give you the stuff. Right to work except RD kit. Yeah, it's fine. The RD kit, one will have to look around and try and see. Right, so okay. I see a couple of people putting stuff up. So let's quickly show you. Right, so of course, the option would be, I'm just gonna copy and paste things. Right, so what is it? Butanol. What else did I ask for now? Oh, hexanol and heptanol. Right. Okay, so fine. One could do it this way. And then you print out the molecular formula for each. Okay, cool. My script is not running, even though I'm okay. Look, Sepo, doesn't matter. 3.716 is okay. It doesn't seem to matter much. Right, so there we go. This is what I get printed. Right, so guys, can we keep it down there? Because now other people. So this is what we get, right? We've got the 7 molecules. Now, how can we do this without having to tell the same thing over and over again? Because that's basically what we're doing. We're just repeating the same task. So the hint I gave you was this, right? If we put this in a list where I say, okay, I'm gonna now just give the name. All right. Now my thing, let me make my screen smaller, but you'll get the gist. It's just with all of the names. Right, so now if I'm going to put this into a new thing, I'm going to just call this entries. Right, for entries in names. I'm still going to do the same thing. I'm going to add to result, right? But instead of now giving it individual names, I just give it the entries. Shorter code. Let's see if it works. Busy, it's doing something. There we go. Same thing, same answer. Because look at the previous one and look at the current one, right? So the answer is exactly the same. It's just now one is done in a loop, the other one is not. So it saves you on typing, right? We don't want to go through the process of typing, when you can just put things into an array. Right, so it is now exactly 11. I think we will pause here. And there, please take Benjamin's suggestion. If you're struggling to run things in Spider, then please use the Anaconda prompt instead. So, Kile, I believe we can break for a bit and then we continue at 1:15.
Yes, 1:15. Let's take a
All
break.
right, I will keep my screen on, guys. So I will still keep it shared, and then I'll also try to resolve some issues in Slack. So